Hi guys, welcome back to Seraphine TV. It's the right place always to be, feel welcomed. And as always, we are here with the right content, just on time, with the right people, and just talking about those things that you are not very comfortable talking about, yet they affect us in our lives, in our journey of life. And so today, just as I promised you in the previous video with Catherine Ketter, today I have her as Catherine, an expert, as a transformational coach. She will introduce herself again and tell us what she does, who she is. And yes, stay here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like this video, and stay there as we bring to you the most hottest and very spicy talks, real talks, and very informative content. Like just we are going to do it in this video. So yes, welcome. Yes.
I can introduce myself. I know I've spoken before about my journey with depression and the struggles I went through battling all manner of health problems, including depression, high blood pressure, asthma, lower back pain, and gastrointestinal problems, and a lot of other issues. And the issues that I struggled with as a parent, as my children had a lot of challenges. And now it has been a journey. I learned a lot, and it motivated me to change my career. And I trained such that I'm able to work with people to heal themselves. I am a transformational life coach. I work with people to transform themselves. I am a business and entrepreneurship coach, and I am also an energy healing professional. So I wear 3 hats.
Well, you didn't add that you're a teacher. That one I know.
I was a teacher before. I trained as a high school teacher.
A teacher, always a teacher. So yes, our honorable viewers, this is the kind of brain I have here with me, and I definitely am sure that you won't leave this place the same as you walked on this platform. So keep subscribing, keep it right here. You enjoy this kind of video, please tell us by commenting, engage us as we listen to Madam Ketter, Susan. So yes, Catherine, you've told us you are a transformational coach. What's that? Your energy healing, coach?
I'm an energy healing practitioner.
Ah, energy healing practitioner. Hey, what's that? That's a new one. You tell us, what entails to that?
So it is interesting that my own struggles inspired me to do a lot of training so that I'm able to work with other people who are struggling the way I was struggling. It took me many years to connect the dots. It took me many years to get solutions. So now I am able to work with others who are facing the same challenges so that they do not have to go such a long journey like I did.
Yeah.
Some people even end up leaving with this world before they get solutions. So I mentioned that I wear 3 hats.
Right.
So I am a transformational life coach. What does a transformational life coach do? And I think I need to say my name once again. I'm Susan Catherine Ketter. I have spoken before on this channel, and I've shared my struggles, which were a bit heavy because I was battling challenges, and my children also were battling challenges. And now, over the years, I've done a lot of training. I now work with people who need the kind of help that I needed.
You needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I said I wear 3 hats, and I can touch on each of the 3. Yes. First, I'm a transformational life coach. What does a transformational life coach do? Many times what we turn out to be is not really what we would have wanted to be. We turn out to be what we have been told. You know, from a young age, there are things probably our parents looked down upon. They always said they didn't believe in such and such. They glorified certain things. So we ended up being shaped by other people's voices, our parents, our siblings, our
Guardians.
teachers, guardians, our Sunday school teachers, our
yes.
teachers in school. So what we become, the way we turn out, is not really what we have consciously thought through. We listen to so many voices in our heads, which are other people's voices. So probably what they said about marriage, what they said about getting children, what they said about career, being a doctor, being a lawyer. So many things. It's not really what we've thought through, that this is what is me. So as a transformational life coach, I work with people to go back to those dreams that they lost, those dreams that they gave up on.
Such an interesting...
And they give themselves permission to become the person they would really, yes, the person they would have wanted to be. I wanted to be this, but I didn't have the strength to withstand societal pressure.
Oh, there was no room.
There was no room. Or even if I wanted to pursue a certain career, my parents wouldn't have allowed. Yeah. They would have said they don't pay for such careers. They can only pay for such and such a thing. For example, you find somebody who wanted to be an artist and is very talented as an artist, and the parents said you have to be a lawyer.
So they're struggling.
And that art, I'm not going to listen about any art in this house. Because the parents also lacked self-awareness to understand that a child is not is not an extension of the parent. A child is not an extension of the parent. It's an independent human being. So many times when parents lack self-awareness, they want to make children an extension of themselves. So
I'm already that parent.
Now you are already thinking. So they want to make decisions for the children based on what will give them the prestige, based on what will make them withstand their own peer pressure. You know, in their circles, what do they say about their children? My child is... It's about them.
It's the mom.
Yes, it's about them. So they put pressure on their children. You'll get even people who might not be having marriage as a priority, being put under pressure. When are you getting married? Because society is judging. So the parents are feeling stigmatized that my daughter is 35 and not married. Yes, so they end up now pressuring the children. So not just parents, society as a whole, the people who interact with our friends, our siblings, our uncles, our grandparents, our teachers, the churches, you know. So all those, they put pressure on people. They end up choosing paths which they would not have chosen. And sometimes you find somebody who is in a career that they live on blood pressure medication because they are living a lifestyle they don't want. They are living a life they don't want. They have a passion for something, but they don't have the permission to pursue it. So I work with people to give themselves permission, to become their authentic selves. So work on self-esteem issues, work on self-confidence issues, work on boundaries, all those issues. So all those issues that people struggle with, because none of us had a perfect upbringing, whereby we were equipped with all the skills, all the skills you need, how to establish boundaries, how to choose.
So it means on all this, you will guide Jenny.
I work with people to get to their life purpose. Yes, so all those things is a journey that I always say my work is to give people permission to transform themselves from the caterpillar to the butterfly. So they do it for themselves. I give them the tools, I work with them, they evolve.
Actually, it's permission.
Yes, like they need to give themselves permission. I give myself permission. So that is what I do. I said also I'm a business and entrepreneurship coach. I work with people to become successfully self-employed. These people who evolve, many of them discover their passions. Me, I wanted a career in beauty, or I wanted a career working with kids or whatever. Now I do work with those people who want to get the skills to learn how to become successful. Yes, how to become successfully self-employed. So there are people who, after the evolving, they now no longer, they don't want whatever they were doing before. some of them, in fact, they were stranded, they didn't have a job, they had lost a job, or they had retired, and they were
So
just
some have been
stranded.
into suffocating
Yes,
careers,
yes. So
not
they,
enjoying.
now I do not just abandon them. So there is, now
For transition.
yes, if they want, those who require to know how to employ themselves, I am a business and
There for them.
entrepreneurship coach. I work with them to get all the skills and whatever they need to become successfully self-employed.
Wow.
My third hat
Yes.
is the energy
Energy
healing
healing.
professional. Now, I have talked about this in the earlier interview, that I battled a lot of issues. My family, my children battled a lot of issues, and we struggled through a lot of challenges. I encountered these issues quite a lot. It has been a journey for me. I did not just start by being a professional.
It took a process.
I started first by running an NGO, working with people who are struggling with mental health issues, running support groups, you know, where people could come, give each other support and all that. But now, the issues they had, I would refer them to other professionals.
Yes.
But as time went by and I invested in more and more trainings, I reached a point I am now able, qualified and certified to work with people to be able to heal themselves. You know, I know we have talked about depression.
Yes.
I always say that, you know, diagnosis help doctors to treat.
Yes.
For me, I don't need to work with diagnosis. I look at people who have been, who have suffered the damage due to perinatal, prenatal, postnatal factors. It can manifest in different ways. It can be anxiety, it can be panic attacks, it can be anger issues, it can be substance abuse, it can be mood problems. Like, you know, there are people who have extreme moods. Yeah. They are very like the way I used to be. They are sad all the time, they are crying easily and all that. The damage caused by perinatal, postnatal factors manifests in diverse ways. For me, I do not need to classify them. This one is depression, this is anxiety, this is whatever. They all are damaged. The damage just simply manifests in different ways. Yeah. So for me, I work with people who have those kind of issues, people who have traumas. There are traumas from the womb, traumas from the delivery process, traumas from childhood. I work with them now to undo the neurological damage, so that now they are able to become the way they could have been if they had not suffered the damage.
I can't wait to hear how you do it, because that sounds so interesting, right? You're a magician. You should tell us how you go about it.
Actually,
we'll start on that one.
It's the energy healing is what you like. So it is not the magic, it is professional training. Unfortunately, you will find there are trainings which are not available in Kenya, so you might find some of those services might not be readily
here in Kenya.
Actually, I got privileged to travel to different parts of the world. I did get trainings from other parts of the world. Wow. And because of that exposure, I was also able to invest in online trainings from other countries. Beautiful. And so I got trainers from other parts of the world. Wow. And now I am able to work with people to
deal with their traumas.
To actually heal from all those traumas. I don't know whether you'd want me to give you some of...
Yeah.
Okay.
Right here. In fact, everyone, I'm sure, is waiting. You can't wait to hear the pens and papers.
Okay, some of the strategies I use, the areas which the energy training field is very wide. There are very many strategies that are used in energy healing. Okay. And energy healing actually has been borrowed heavily from the East. That is the Asian countries, is where they have a lot of that. But now, because of struggles, professionals in different parts of the world were encountering, they discovered those people have something which can be and help us. So a lot of professionals, you'll get a lot of professionals in US, in Europe, who are using the strategies which they took from the East. They went, they researched, and they found how they work. They found they would do even the brain imaging to see before and after, and which areas of the brain have changed, and what has happened in the body. So they came to know that the...
So yes, of the 3 hearts, in fact, all of them are very important, but I'll be excited. I'm so much anxious to learn about the energy, the energy healing professional.
Okay.
How do you go about it? It almost sounds like magic.
Actually, the energy healing field is very wide. There are a lot of strategies that are used, researched and documented, and trainings available. I have invested in a lot of trainings from outside the country. There are trainings where I've traveled. There are trainings I've done from online sources. So I am able. I'm now certified to do that kind of work.
Well equipped.
Yes, so that I used to have a lot of challenges, by the way, before I got there, because when people would hear my story, they would come to me with similar issues. But excuse me, I didn't have the strategies to help them, so I would have to disappoint them that I just like my mother, that yes, I healed myself, but I don't have a formula, a strategy that you can also use. So people used to reach out to me, a lot of people telling me they have resonated with my story. How can I help them? And I didn't have a formula for helping them. So with the time, I put in a lot of work to get training, such that now if people come to me, I am able to help them. So energy healing has largely been borrowed from the East. A lot of professionals now, even from US, Europe, they are borrowing those strategies. They are now well documented, researched. You know, they've gone and researched those strategies with proper technology like brain imaging, so that they are able to check, to examine the brain before and after, and see what changes have happened.
And they proved that they work.
Yes, so they proved. In fact, some of the energy healing strategies have been found to be so much more effective than traditional therapies. And the researches are there and documented that it is not assumption. It is something that is documented. So I have the strategies which I'm trained in and which I use. One of them is meditation. I don't know whether you have heard about meditation, but many people have. It's only that probably what people have heard is not correct. It's just some assumption. People have had assumption. One of the issues I encounter is that many people, when they hear some of those strategies, they think they are worship. It's some kind of worship from the East. So they even don't know that they are professional trainings which people go through in order to be certified to offer those kind of services. So you will find that some people they dismiss.
So we need training on how to do this meditation.
So meditation is one of the strategies I use quite a lot in my work. It is very calming. Like now, these people who get triggered because they suffered neurological damage as students. So somebody says something and they lash out at people, or some will even, they get triggered, so they lose it. Because what happens is that when somebody is triggered, the thinking brain is shut down. So the one has no capacity to reason or to think at that point, because the thinking brain has been shut off. And Some of those strategies have been proven to be effective in turning off the fight, flight, freeze response, which is the trauma response. So people who have suffered that kind of damage, they are always getting that response is being triggered. Somebody says something or does something, and they are triggered.
Like just a pin.
They are triggered. Those are some of the people you hear who end up killing the loved one just because maybe that person made a statement or had this facial expression which triggered them, and they don't have the capacity to think or to reason. Yes, at that point you can just say a very simple statement and somebody will lash out, speak 1,000 words telling you, your jaw just drops. You are wondering, what is this person saying? What's wrong with this person? They have lost it. So some of those strategies are very effective in solving that problem, such that the person will no longer be getting triggered like that and losing it and doing things, breaking things or hurting people and then regretting later. So meditation is one of the strategies I use. I use strategies like deep breathing, you know. Yes, you know, there's the way you have to. It
works magic because we use it on many occasions.
Yes, you know, you do the abdominal or diaphragm, breathing from the abdomen or the diaphragm, not shallow. Then you let out, you know. So I use that quite a lot. I use something called Eft tapping. I don't know whether you have heard of Eft tapping. In fact, there are people, when they hear about Eft tapping, they think it's a big joke. Eft tapping, they think it's a joke because it does not seem like it is a therapy. But it is so effective. So many, I think there are hundreds of researches which I've done on it's called emotional freedom technique, EFT. So
maybe briefly.
I can actually demonstrate for you how it works. Let's say you are anxious because you are about to go into an interview.
Yes.
EFT tapping is something one can be taught, and they use it, not having to come to me that I take them through. I teach them how to use it. So what happens is, so I'm anxious.
Yes.
We always say what we resist persists. So we acknowledge first what we are going through. We acknowledge what we are struggling with. We acknowledge that yes, I'm anxious. You don't pretend you are not anxious. So the EFT has borrowed heavily from acupuncture, which is Chinese medicine, which is traditional Chinese medicine. Chinese, you know, they use needles. They use needles. So from there, it was discovered that you don't have to use needles. Even if you exert pressure on those what is called Meridian Points, you will get the desired results. So now EFT is more of the acupressure. So the pressure is exerted with the fingers. So you just use your fingers. Yes. You use the fingers to tap on the meridian points. The meridian points, one has to learn where they are. So the meridian points we use in the EFT is here. You know, you have to look here. You feel where there is something like a bone here. Yes. This is where you start with the EFT. When you are starting the procedure, this is where you start. It's called the karate chop. This one.
The what?
Karate chop.
Yeah, am I
you know, you know, karate. Yes, karate chop.
Okay.
This is where you always start with. So when you are doing EFT, the statement whereby you are acknowledging that you are having that struggle, you tap it here.
You tap here.
You tap here.
Yeah.
You tap here.
Like with
just
the
tap
with
just with the fingers.
Yeah.
Like this. You can use 2 or 3 fingers. You just tap here.
Yes.
So the other point, it's the eyebrow point, which is here. You know where the eyebrows begin. You just touch. You feel there's a bone there.
Oh, yeah.
That bone. Then the next point, when you follow that bone, you get here to the side of the eye. You feel that bone. Yes,
like
this is another point. Yes. Then you follow that bone to the under the eye, you feel that bone. That's another point, you feel that bone. Then under the nose.
Are we doing makeup?
Then under the lower lip, that is between the lower lip and the chin, there is a small depression there. Then the collarbone, just below the collarbone.
There.
Yes. Then under the arm, we usually describe it as the where the bra strap normally is. It's like one arm below the armpit.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So those are the points. Then like this, you know.
I need training. I will not remember all of them.
You can't. You need to remember. So, and then here. There's a bone here. If you do this.
The second finger now.
Yeah, between the small finger. Yeah. There's a bone there.
Second on the middle.
Yes, those are the meridian points that we use to tap on. It combines acupressure and modern psychology, because you don't just tap. You tap as you are saying something. So let's say you are anxious because you are about to go for an interview. Yes. So you acknowledge, you go to the karate chop. Even though I'm feeling anxious about the upcoming interview, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I am feeling anxious about yes, you can speak in your heart or audibly, but you have to pass that message to yourself, because you want to calm the part of the brain that is responsible for the trauma responses. So you could go into anxiety, you could go into panic attack. That's a part of the brain you are calming. So you tap like 3 times. Like that, you talk to yourself. You talk to yourself. We say in EFT, you take it like talking to a friend. You are confiding in a friend you trust about your struggles, the way you are feeling. So you are telling that part of the brain, even though I'm feeling anxious about the upcoming meeting, I completely love and accept myself. And you repeat that statement, tapping on the karate chop, like 3 times. Then after that,
continue.
After you,
I'm
so after you now do the karate chop, now you go to the other points, and you have to follow the process. You don't just tap anywhere, and you first have to know where the meridian points are. So you go, you go all this, you do like this, all this anxiety about the upcoming interview. It is making me feel so anxious. I feel so anxious. I feel so anxious. I'm just feeling so anxious. I feel so anxious. Then the top of the head, I am feeling anxious. I'm feeling anxious. So you are talking to the part of the brain which is responsible for those responses, and because when you are tapping on those points, it is very important to tap on those points. So if you just say
repeatedly, like
you do until you calm down, you can repeat like 2-3 times. So one does that process that way. There are different procedures if you want to deal with pain. Yes, you do like that. If you are about, there are people who fear public speaking. Before you go to public speaking, before you appear before the audience, you do it. You do it. Before you enter the interview room, you do it.
Before we record, like if you have guests,
yes, you do it. But you have to learn how to do it. It's also very useful for pain. Even if you have pain somewhere, you're having a headache, or you're having a toothache, or you're having whatever, even very severe pain, we are talking of people use it, even people who are having cancer, very serious pain. They are taught how to use the EFT tapping. It is well researched and documented. That is one strategy I use. And EFT tapping has been proven to rewire the brain. So it is able to create new...
It's even fun.
Yeah, it creates new neural pathways to replace those faulty ones. So with the time, you won't even have the old problem. So and it has been found that actually research has shown that just one session of tapping, you can work with a client maybe to just 20 minutes of tapping. They do the tapping, then they do the research. They find that the change in that person's brain is like several months of traditional therapy. The information is there, is documented, is published in journals. It is big, big, big. It's not something
I think
small.
I need to train. I should book a session with you.
So those are some of the strategies I use. I also do hypnotherapy. I know people hear about hypnosis as stage hypnosis for entertaining people and all that, but hypnosis is a tool.
What's hypnosis? We are hearing for the first time.
People can be hypnotized. Then they can do crazy. You can be made to do crazy things because you've been hypnotized. That you can be made.
Hippopotamus, from the word hippopotamus.
Hypnosis. That you can be hypnotized. Then somebody controls you, tells you do like this, do like this. You know, there is stage hypnosis which is used for entertainment. But now I'm talking of clinical hypnosis, that is hypnotherapy. So whereby a therapist uses hypnosis as a tool. One must first be good at therapy, then now use hypnosis as a tool. You cannot use hypnosis as a tool when you don't know how to do the therapy. So when what happens in hypnosis is that you mimic a stage of going to sleep. Like, you know, that time when you are just almost falling asleep, you can vaguely hear things, but you are so, or when you are just getting out of sleep, you are just half away, so the hypnotherapist takes somebody to that level. Or let's say there are times you are engrossed so much in a movie. You have even forgotten it's a movie. You will even cry. You will even hide your face because something is about to happen. You will even close your ears because of what is about to happen. You will scream. You know, you are now hypnotized. So a hypnotherapist takes somebody to that level so that you are able to help them bring changes to their mindset. You will first have a session with the person. They tell you the issues they are struggling with, what they would want. Probably the person has issues with overeating or eating junk foods. They want to be helped not to eat healthy. So you take them to that level, which is a trance. You take them to the trance level, then you speak to the subconscious mind, the things the client has already told you they want you to put into their subconscious mind, such that now, after you bring them back from the trance, already you have programmed that in them. Because the conscious mind, what we use for reasoning and for rationalizing things and for making decisions, affects behavior 10% or less. The subconscious mind, which is what is below the surface, controls behavior over 90%.
So energy healing is this interesting?
It's very interesting. So because you can work with people to heal themselves without using any kind of medicine. You don't use medicine. But that does not mean that it can solve all the problems on earth. There are issues people will still go to their doctors. There are issues people will go to surgery and whatever. But there are so many issues you can
deal with.
Yes, like now people come to me who've been having panic attacks. I work with them, they no longer have the panic attacks. People who have been having low moods, they no longer have the low moods. People who have anxiety, they no longer have the anxiety. You rewire the brain, so the problem is no longer there.
I think on that one, we still need time. We will still have more sessions to talk about it. I think it calls for a whole video to talk about the energy healing. Yes. Now on transformational,
transformational
coaching. You're telling me you will help me realize my purpose, fulfill my purpose, not living for others, now living for me. How do you go about this?
We do a lot of. You go back to what were you when you were a child? What did you want to be? You revisit even your childhood. You revisit your journey. I used to love doing A, B, C, D. Then you come to discover that somewhere along the way I used to draw and then I was beaten for drawing. So I stopped, or I was quarreled, or something happened to me which made me put it aside. Yeah. So you go back to your history, you discover all those things, how far you've come, what shaped you. The teacher punished you, the parent beat you, whatever, you were bullied in school. So you because
have to take me back to the journey.
you go back. Yes, we go back so that you go back to the person you really wanted to be.
Started.
Yes, and you find many people, maybe they were bullied by other children because they were interested in something which was not understood. So the bullying and the embarrassment
or
made them shut down.
Others,
maybe there was somebody who was known, who was doing the same and had issues. Maybe was alcoholic or whatever. So it was used in a negative way. That person who is, so they would not want to associate with it. Yeah. So you go back, you discover what happened that made you not become the person you have wanted to be, and you heal from those wounds, those emotional wounds, whether it was bullying, whether it was being punished by your teacher, whether you know.
In your journey to this, in your career, have you met people in their 60s or 70s who want who are regretting? Because I know there are regrets at that age already.
Now,
who have quit what they are doing.
That is a very important question. And maybe I'll disappoint you by telling you I work with people 55 years and below.
Oh yeah.
And 25 and above. In fact, I work better with people 30 and above. I have isolated cases of people between 25 and 30, but my ideal clients are age 30 to 55. I'll tell you, I got there because of the results I would get. I have found that people over 55, they really struggle to transform themselves. They really struggle to undo the so much damage they've gone through. There are some.
It's like they've already accepted their fate.
You know, what happens is that the brain also is an organ. It is like if you have not been exercising, then you are now 70 and you want to start going to the gym, it's a bit hard. Yeah. It will be hard. Even me, if I was a fitness trainer, this person who is 70 and has never exercised, for me now to work with them to become fit, it would be challenging. But if somebody has been really investing in personal development, they are constantly growing, even if they're over 55, it is not as hard. But you'll find if somebody has just been rigid and now is 50 and above, it's so hard for them now to, everything has become rigid. For that person now to become, you know, easily they struggle a lot. Yeah. So I find it's not the ideal. Sometimes it's not worth it to make them go dig that deep to try and reinvent themselves. They end up, it is very difficult. So I normally don't work with clients over 55. It is quite tough. And below age 25, no, because
they're also still not
because you see the human brain develops from the back. So by the frontal cortex is what develops last, and it matures between age 25 and 30. So sometimes if I get somebody who is 25, their brain is still developing. They don't get as good results as those ones over 30. So these are, I've worked with people from different ages, and my observation is that age 30 to 55 is where the brain is at its best, you know, to help somebody to make changes.
So besides career, I know the other challenges, just as you said, there are so many things, stereotypes and what you are told by parents about marriage, about relationships. I'm thinking of a situation of a person who was rejected, who feels reject parents. How will you journey with that person to direct for improvement or to transform, to feel loved?
Actually, I work with those, and we go back to the childhood. They have to heal the childhood wounds. They have to do forgiveness. So they have to go through the process of forgiving the people who wronged them, the people who discriminated against them, the people who abused them. I get people who really are in pain about the parents, that the parent loved another sibling, not them. Sometimes like the communities which name after parents. You will find a mother who had pain because of her mother-in-law. The child who is named after the mother-in-law, the parent just reacts negatively to that child just because of the name. Not that the child is bad. The child grows up with rejection issues because they were rejected, or the mother got pregnant when she didn't want. So she didn't like the pregnancy. She even was hoping that whatever was in her womb did not survive. Yes, or they may have attempted abortion or whatever. So that person, no matter what you do for them, they don't feel loved, because the rejection is from the womb or from a very young age. These are not issues you can handle in talk therapy because they don't have the memories. But you see, when we do the energy healing, you are able to awaken the emotions.
Like a case of a person who was born a girl and was made, or the parents expected a boy.
Yes, they have 5 boys, and then they expected a girl and then another boy. Yes, so those things happen. And when you do the energy healing, you are able to awaken the things which are buried somewhere, even from the womb. The emotions come, they come up. They are not in the mind. The energy healing, you work with the body, with the mind, with the energy around the person. You know, there is some your energy fields, so they come up. Those emotions come up.
And I'm sure people break down so much.
People cry a lot, yes, but we use those strategies like deep breathing, Eft tapping, and those kind of exercise. You have to move the body. You have to move the body so that you allow the energy to move. So if you are feeling so much pain, emotional pain.
People say pinch me, someone to pinch me to feel that I'm still
Actually, when you feel so much pain, you're moving the body, moving the body, dancing, stretching, exercise, it helps the energy to move. So so I cannot work with somebody who won't work on all levels. That's such that they have to have regular exercise, exercise, dancing, or something to move the body. It is so important.
In your journey in all this experience, are there things you'd say that are unforgivable?
No.
So it doesn't matter how
everything is forgivable, but forgiveness is not reconciliation. Forgiveness is for my own good. I don't forgive people so that I do them a favor. I forgive people so that I do myself a favor. Anything you have not forgiven will give you problems. You'll get sick. You will have misfortunes. So you forgive to release that negative energy from inside you. So that now you can enjoy a life of abundance. You can enjoy blessings. You can enjoy good health. And the people who say, I can't forgive, I won't forgive, things like that. You watch what eventually happens. They'll have blood pressure.
Bitterness.
They'll have blood pressure. They'll suffer a stroke. They will they'll develop diabetes. They'll have cancer. Many things will come. Not that those conditions always are caused by that, but those also cause. They do cause. So you risk actually leaving this world prematurely by saying, I won't forgive, I cannot forgive. Not forgiving people can actually take you to the grave earlier than you are supposed to go. So there is nothing which is not forgivable because you are forgiving for your own good. Anything you've not forgiven, so that negative energy, and it will cause illness. It will cause problem. You find like some people have misfortune after misfortune. They lose money, they get conned, their house burns down. Those things, when there's negative energy inside you, it attracts misfortunes. So when you are forgiving and you are releasing those things and you are setting those people free from condemnation, you are
Sound
actually
faster.
releasing negative energy, which was like a magnet inside you, attracting misfortunes, illnesses, bad
Actually,
luck.
your career and what you're doing is also more spiritual. It's
Okay,
connected.
I,
You find yourself in between.
I am also a trained spiritual coach. Now I think
sound
from my speaking, you can tell
you
that.
went to the other side.
So spirituality and religion are two different things. Spirituality is connection with your creator. It is not
It's different from reality.
restricted. It's not confined to a particular religion. It is that I believe in guidance from my creator.
yeah.
There are things which are not up to me, that I have to seek divine intervention. So there is that acknowledgement that there is a level which I also require some help
we are
from
limited.
above.
Yeah, we
I
are
have my
human.
limitations.
We have
So I am trained in that also. So I also use the spiritual coaching,
approach.
which is not religion. Because some people hear that and they think religion, they think now this person is going to preach to me.
So yes, guys, continue. I hope you are enjoying this content. This video is so exciting and you are learning something new. You are challenged from where you are sitting. This is the right place to be. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Subscription is absolutely free. Subscribe, like this video, engage with us. What are you thinking? What have you been through? What have you read? So that we also get to hear your mind and what you're doing. Personally, I'm enjoying the conversation.
Thank you.
I'm learning a lot. I'm actually excited. And I will definitely book for an appointment for training on energy healing. So we are saying about relationships, that on transformation, so many of us have been hurt. And it has interfered with our love lives, our marriages, our children, our parenting methods, because of what we were made to do, not what we ever wanted to be. And we've realized on other videos I did on parenting, I ever had an expert here on parenting, and she said we push our children to live our dreams. So as we never got a chance to do what we wanted, so we are pushing our children, forgetting they also have their purpose. So I think it's this so common on your table, on your desk. Many times these are things you come across. What will you tell children and parents who are already going through this, and especially parents? Yes, parents.
There is something I would like to say which is very important. Dysfunctions or struggles are usually multi-generational. For example, you'll see a child who is struggling, a teenager who is struggling, a young adult who is struggling. You need to look at that lineage. Because remember, the parents were products of some childhood, also some parenting. Those grandparents also, it is usually multi-generational. It doesn't start now with my generation. It has rolled down the generations. So for somebody to understand how they can become healthy parents, they need to look at their lineage. You need to look at how your parents were, how their grandparents, your grandparents were. Your parents were raised a certain way, and that is why they turned the way they were. So this journey is usually just about compassion. You cannot blame anybody because nobody chose how they turned out. Your mom didn't choose to be the way she was. It's because also her father was a certain way, her mother was a certain way, the village they grew up in was a certain way, the church they were taken to as children was a certain way. They didn't really choose. So there is nothing like judging or condemning. It's just knowledge and self-awareness that I am this way because my parents were this way and they didn't also choose. They grew up in a certain environment. So I always say effective parenting is become, then do. We can't teach you what to do. We can only teach you to become a healthy person. Then you will make the right decisions. You heal from all that baggage and then you'll be okay. You will do the right things. There's something very important I would want to say. I always say that I talk about things that might not be talked about. I talk about things which people may not have looked at the way I do, but because I work with people, I see these traits. what happens to us from a young age shapes us. It becomes like an internal magnet which attracts what is familiar. So if somebody, for example, comes to me complaining, you know, a list this long, yes. My husband, my husband, my husband, I won't focus on the husband. I listen to those complaints and I'll say, tell me about your childhood, how you are, your parents, how was their relationship.
Yes.
Because what happens to us becomes like an internal magnet which attracts what is familiar. Those issues people are struggling with in adulthood, the magnet was created at a young age.
Does this answer that most of ladies, we hear that so common, that my mom lived like this with my dad?
It normally attracts what is familiar. Yeah. And what happens is, let's say, let me use an example which is very easy to understand. Let's say you had a father who was violent,
yes,
who was an abuser, who used to abuse your mom. You are in campus, you are going out, you are dating, you have met 5 guys who are interested in you. There is only one guy you'll feel okay with, and that's the guy you'll settle down with, and there's a guy who will abuse you. Because that's what is familiar. The guy who is going to treat you like a queen, you will not. Familiar. But your brain recognizes what is familiar. So that person who is going to treat you like a queen, that is very unfamiliar. The brain knows that what is not familiar is an enemy. It's supposed to be avoided. So that guy who is going to treat you like a queen, that is very unfamiliar. You will find excuses. That guy is short. In fact, he's dark. In fact, his teeth look like that. You will have excuses. Because he's not familiar. Your brain will reject that person. So we cannot help you to change your life unless you work on healing what programmed you. That internal magnet in you is what needs to be changed. It's not, so people come to me.
Stop and deal with this person.
People come to me complaining they want to leave their marriages, and what I tell them, the focus should not be whether you leave your marriage or you don't leave. The focus should be, you'll end up in the same cycles. You can leave your marriage and next, the next few months, you have a boss who treats you exactly the same. Because there's an internal magnet in you which attracts that. It's not you, it is something inside you. So I always say, if you are struggling with whatever relationships, your colleagues are treating you a certain way, your best friend is doing ABCD, your landlord is doing I don't know what.
About discipline of your children, does it still...
the thing is, you see, discipline, when people talk about discipline of children, yes. What is discipline? Discipline is what you awaken in the children. If you are, let's say, a mother who is unhealed, who is always making noise, calling children, whatever, how can you talk of discipline?
You are hurt.
You will awaken negativity in those children. They will be hardened. They will go lead strikes in school. They will set, I don't know, somebody's car on fire. They will, I don't know, do what. They will get in gangs and get into crime. Not because you did not discipline, but because you put out certain, yes. That's why I always say, if you tell me a child has discipline issues, a young adult has I don't know what behavior issues, a teenager has I don't know what issues, I want to know the environment they grew up in, what shaped them, what made them that way. Because nobody chooses that I want to be noisy, I want to be a criminal. There are things which made that person get attracted to that, and it is not conscious that I make decisions. I think no, they feel that's the only thing that they feel is familiar, they feel comfortable in. If you take that person who is out there drinking and sleeping in the ditches, you take that person to a different environment, they may even get sick of stress.
So does this still answer the situation where someone is being frustrated and they can't move? Like you are in a very toxic relationship.
You know why?
But they are not quitting. They can go, they could
I hear people saying, kwani umekorogewa huko. You are beaten by your spouse, we come, we rescue, you go back. 10 times. It is the programming. Look at what programmed them. What kind of environment was familiar to them. It must be what the brain knows is familiar. I deal with these things
with
all
time
the time.
You get used to that.
It's what you know. It's what you know. Today, if we removed you from here and we took you to the Eskimos, you would be out of place. You wouldn't go. But when we bring you back here, you are at home. So if you grew up in a certain environment, that is what is familiar. When you are in that environment, you are familiar. It's familiar. You are safe. You are taken to some strange environment. You are not safe. So that's why you get people saying, oh, I'm beaten every day. In fact, my leg was broken. Even now a knife was picked. But they won't leave because something in them feels this is the only thing they know. So when when people come, oh, my son is even threatening me, or my husband, or my wife, or my mother, or whoever, I always say, first and foremost, you cannot control another person. You change yourself. Once you change yourself, you'll change the environment around you. It's that person who's been attracted by that negative magnet in you, when you change that magnet, the person will no longer be interested in you or whatever. Things will change. We do not know how they'll change. They always do.
So we have a lot to deal with. I think most of the problems from your conversation, what you're telling me, I'm already overwhelmed. Like, do we have any normal person working?
Yes, very few. We do, but I always say, I always say there is nobody who is free of trauma. Everybody has some healing to do, because remember, trauma depends on the capacity to handle. You are talking of a 3-week-old baby who has been left in a dark room, crying alone in the dark. That's a very massive trauma.
So energy healing brings out automatically. We don't have to talk. You allow the energy to flow, and the body responds so that you get healed out of the traumas.
What happens is that the body has all the memories. Even what is not in our memories, in the brain, the body has all that information. So what happens is that there are no memories of a period in time when there was no language. So if you want to remember things below age 3, you are likely not to remember, because the memories are coded in terms of language. So where there was no language, you don't have those memories, but the body has them. So once you revisit, let's say you revisit about age from birth to age 3, emotions come up. Because they're in the body, emotions come up. You feel a lot of pain, you feel overwhelmed, you feel something happened, something which is, it's not recorded in words, but it's in the body. The body is explaining to you that there is something didn't go right.
Half sleep, half asleep.
That is why when I work with people to heal their traumas, they have to also go and ask questions. So they'll go and talk to their parents or grandparents or uncles, aunties, whoever is familiar with the circumstances around their birth, because you need to know the things you are healing, and you need to make peace with them. Some of them discover
that knowledge will direct you.
Some of them discover that actually when the mother got pregnant, the man who made her pregnant left, and she got married when the child was 6 months, and after going through a lot of struggles. So when that person feels a lot of pain, the pain comes up. So when that pain comes up, they know something is not okay. There's something which happened in that period of time, but they don't know what it is. But I always say it's good to find out. So I tell them, talk to I tell them, find out. Talk to your parents, talk to the people.
It's so painful sometimes to dig into those secrets.
But they ask, people ask. Sometimes people are saying, how will I approach my mother? My mother is very sensitive. I tell them, if you want to heal and you want to put these matters to rest, you will always have a question. Why is it when I revisit from birth to age 3, there is a lot of pain there? What was that pain? You will not have peace. You better know. So you better find out that information. You forgive those things. You put the matter to rest, and you finish it once for all. But if you just know there's a lot of pain,
forgiveness plays a major role.
For me, you cannot heal yourself without forgiveness,
And
without
you can't
compassion.
forgive also what you don't know.
You can't forgive what you don't know. So I tell people, you need to go talk to your parents or your grandparents or whoever knows about circumstances around your delivery. What happened? Why is it whenever you revisit that period, energy, there is negative energy. You feel a lot of pain, because some people tell me when they revisit their childhood, they feel so much pain in the chest. They feel the chest is blocked. They are not even breathing well. There is pain which is locked there in the body. I tell them it's important for you to know what is that caused the pain.
And you won't know that.
And so that's why if you are doing talk therapy, you will talk about what you know. But when we are doing energy healing, you heal things even you don't know, because the body knows. In fact, when you are able, you can look for a book called The Body Keeps the Score. I can't remember the author, but it talks about everything that happened to you. The memories are in the body. You can ask the body. So now when you know that you can talk to the body, you can tap particular places while asking the body to show you if there are things which need to be healed from, that's a very interesting. Yeah, those things that you need to be healed from birth to age 3, and you talk to the body to let them come up. They come up, but not in terms of memories, because there are no memories. They come up in terms of energy. You feel so much naturally has memories, but when the trauma is so massive, sometimes those memories are just blocked. So you will find people who will tell you, I have no memories of the period before class 2, or I have no memories of the period before age 10. Usually there are traumas there which are so massive that the brain.
So yes, guys, you are following this conversation, and I will still have this more. This me, I like it. I'm learning. I'm being inspired. I'm being challenged, and I know even you from where you are sitting watching this. So subscribe to this channel, because you are sure will bring you more of this and even better and more interesting, more informative information to you content. So subscribe, like, engage us on the comment, show us love, show Susan love. You know, she's been through a journey. She just changed her grasses into grace. She's now, God is using her. She's really an instrument. I'm so happy that you even got a chance. You are willing to share your story. We are very grateful, because your story is blessing so many people, and the knowledge that you have, you're empowering others and saving many souls. Thank you guys for watching this video, and please stay here for more and interesting content from us to you. Bye. Love you.